If you came in a low mood, I'm sure that cheered you up and you're in a happy mood now. So welcome everybody, if you're come every week or if you're new, and hello Zoomers. And Sheila's going to light the chalice for me because I still can't do anything with my hand and I don't want to set off a fire. Thank you for that. Well, I say I can't do anything, but I can do a few things with my hands. So I am counting my blessings. Last week, I couldn't take my glasses out my case, and this week I can. So we're... oops, nearly knocked the water over. As you know, there's always a few blips when I do a service. So the opening words for our service, it's Welcome to the Gathering by Peter Adams. In uncertainty we come and we become certain. In fear we come and we become safe. In mistrust we come and discover trust. Alone we come and we become one. In our openness, we receive blessings. In offering ourselves, we receive each other. In our gentleness together, we become powerful. In our gathering, life comes to know itself. In our activities, life creates itself. In our singing, life praises itself. In our dancing, life celebrates itself. In our silence, life speaks to us. In our presence, spirit comes to us. In our prayers, we create the future. In our longing for holiness, we become holy. Seeking mysteries, mysteries appear beside us. As we dance, we see ourselves in each other's eyes. As we sing, we hear love in each other's hearts. As we listen, we hear the wisdom of our own voices. Now we'll have our first hymn, which is Purple Book, number 24, Come Sing a Song with Me. Stand if you're able. And hopefully the words may appear on the screen. If not, you have your hymn book.
Bring you home.
really pleased you're all in good voice because I chose 4 hymns today instead of 3. And that's the beauty of being able to do what I want up here, really. So Sheila's going to do a short reading for us now, please. Thank you, Sheila.
These are words of Dostoevsky's. Love all God's creation, the whole and every grain of sand in it. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light. Love the animals, love the plants, love everything. If you love everything, you will perceive the divine mystery in things. Once you perceive it, you will begin to comprehend it better every day. And you will come at last to love the whole world with an embracing love.
Thank you, Sheila. And now we'll turn to prayer. So if you ground yourself and quieten yourself. And both prayers are from the book Fragments of Holiness. And the first one is by Sarah Tinker, who's a Unitarian minister in Kensington. Open our eyes so we may recognize that of God in all those we meet. Open our ears to hear other people's life stories, and through hearing, understand them better. Open our mouths to speak words of kindness and friendship to strangers. Open our arms to help tear down the barriers of fear that divide one group from another. Open our minds to think bigger, braver thoughts and go beyond our narrow prejudices. Open our hearts so love may flow through us, creating this world as one community which rejoices in people's diversity and encourages the inclusion of all. May it be so. And the next prayer is by the late Unitarian minister A. Powell Davis. O God, from whom we ask so much and in our hearts expect so little, show us that most of what we need is ours already, if only we would take it. Remind us often, O God, how much of our lives we are not living. Amen. And we'll go straight into our second hymn, and it's 147, Purple Book, Spirit of Earth, Stone and Tree. Stand if you're able.
Fill me with living energy.
This service is a kind of updated version of one I did in 2019 because I haven't been all that great lately, as you know. So I think it's good to revisit counting your blessings. So just enjoy. Some of you may have heard this story before, but enjoy it again. And Steve is going to read it for us.
The Secret to Counting Your Blessings, a Jewish story by Rabbi Evan. Counting our blessings is not something that always comes naturally. Often it's easier to count our problems. We are late on a project, our house needs work. If, God forbid, we have a health problem or lose our job, it can consume us. Focusing on our problems, we sometimes overlook our blessings. As a father, I know I do this. I complain that my kids do not go to sleep on time much, more than I express my gratitude for being blessed with happy kids. Sometimes we need a little push to remind us of our blessings. That is the lesson of a beautiful Yiddish story about a man who lived in a one-room hut with his mother, his wife, and 6 children. This hut, as we can imagine, was filled with crying and quarrelling. It was noisy and hard to live. One day, when he felt he couldn't take any more, this man went to his rabbi. "Rabbi," he said, "things are bad and getting worse. I live in a one-bedroomed house with my mother, wife, and 6 children. It is too crowded and noisy. Help me find some peace, Rabbi. I'll do whatever you say." The rabbi thought for a moment. "Do you have a chicken?" he asked. "Yes, of course I do," the man replied. "Good," said the rabbi. "Take the chicken and bring it into your home." "Well, okay," said the man, though he was a bit surprised. Imagine what the house sounded like now. In addition to the man, his mother, his wife, and 6 children, there was a chicken clucking incessantly. Frustrated, the man returned to the rabbi. "Rabbi, I did what you said, and it's much worse than before. Help me, please." "Tell me," the rabbi asked, "do you have a goat?" "Yes, I do," the man replied. "Excellent," said the rabbi. "Go home and bring him in to live with you." A couple of days later, the hut was even worse. There was crying, quarrelling, clucking, and a goat pushing and butting everyone with its horns. The man returned to the rabbi. To his shock, the rabbi instructed him to bring his cow into the hut. This rabbi must be crazy, the man thought. But he did as he was instructed, and the house became chaos. When he returned to the rabbi for the 4th time, the man screamed, "Help me, Rabbi, the end of the world has come. There's no room in my house even to breathe." The rabbi listened and said, "Go home now, my friend, and let all the animals out of your hut." The man rushed home and did just that. That night was the sweetest and most relaxing night he ever had. Every member of the family slept comfortably and peacefully. When he returned to the rabbi, the man said, "Rabbi, you made life sweet for me. With just my family in the hut, it's so quiet, so roomy, so peaceful. What a blessing."
So we don't need big blessings. We sometimes just need to appreciate what we have. We turn once again to prayer. This is a slightly adapted prayer by a spiritual teacher, Mirabai Starr, and it will be followed by a short silence leading into a Hebrew hymn based on Psalm 118. Beloved one, Mother Heart, please come flowing into every open window in our souls right now as we call to you. Infuse every cell of our bodies with your fierce and tender mother wisdom. Give us strength to speak truth to power in these fractured times. Give us the tenderness and humility to listen deeply to those we are conditioned to otherwise, and remind us again and again when we forget that we actually belong to each other. We'll just have a minute's silence just to reflect on those words.
אדוני לי לא אירא, מה יעשה לי אדם? אדוני לי לא אירא, מה יעשה לי אדם? מצא קראתיה, ענני במרחביה, טוב לך עשות באדוני מפתוח באדם. טוב לך עשות באדוני מפתוח בנדיבים. אדוני לי לא אירא, מה יעשה לי אדם? אדוני I'm not afraid. What can man do to me? The Lord is with me. I'm not afraid. What can man do to me? In my distress I cry to the Lord. When trouble comes, He's there. I'll put my trust in Adonai. What can man do to me? Adonai Adonai li lo ira, ma ya'aseh li adam. Adonai li lo ira, ma ya'aseh li adam.
actually find that music quite hypnotic, and I use it as part of my meditation daily. So, we have another treat for you because we've got another story, and Viv is going to read this one for us. Thank you, Viv.
It's called Be Grateful and Count Your Blessings. Bozo, Mrs. Smith's pet Labrador, looked out of the window to watch Sally, a street dog, play with her friends. Just then, Mrs. Smith called Bozo for breakfast. He thought, oh no, milk again, same old breakfast every day. He sadly licked the bowl and thought, I want to eat something tasty, but how? Mr. and Mrs. Smith went out to the market. It was a golden chance for Bozo to sneak out for a while. Looking at the blue sky, hearing the birds chirp and feeling the cool breeze, he walked happily. He was enjoying a lot and did not realize when 2 hours had passed. But suddenly he heard the clouds thunder. Soon it started raining. Bozo got scared and wanted to run back home, but he'd come very far and almost lost his way. The tensed Bozo looked for help. Sally, from under a garbage bin, called him, Hey you, come wait here until the rain stops. Bozo runs and takes shelter. Thank you. My name is Bozo. What is yours? My name is Sally. Do you stay with Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Yes. How do you know? Well, it's such a beautiful house. I've always wondered how it looked from inside. There's nothing so great. I've lived there ever since and seen nothing new. You are so lucky. You can go anywhere, anytime, and eat whatever you feel like. I get only milk every day. Milk? Wow, that's wonderful. I have to search for food every day. Sometimes I do not get anything to eat, said Sally. But it's so boring eating the same food daily. But at least you get healthy food to eat, said Sally. The rain stopped. Bozo walked back home, thinking about what Sally said, and felt happy.
Thank you, Viv. Yes, there's a lot of people that don't have enough food, and thank you for bringing all the tins today, which I'm sure Sheila will talk about. Anyway, as I said earlier, I'm revisiting and updating the address from 2019, which seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? I thought after all the tragedies that have happened in the world recently, and apart from my own health and personal problems, which I'm sure some of you have had a lot of health and personal problems, that's why I thought we should visit Count Your Blessings. They don't have to be big blessings. As you saw, I took my glasses out the case, which was a big thing. And I actually buttered some bread this week. And Jill knows exactly what that felt like. So I've kept some of the address the same, and I've added other things as life has moved on. But I do think it's time to sometimes look at the good things in our lives. Sometimes our lives feel challenging, and we often feel the grass is greener on the other side. I mean, you know, the hot weather was lovely, but it was a bit debilitating. But then I had a message from my Taiwanese friend saying it was 45 degrees in Taiwan. And I thought, oh, we're really lucky to be here. You know? But do you get annoyed when someone says you should count your blessings? I think we do sometimes, don't we? I know I do. I remember a time that I really did count my blessings. And Christina, where is Christina? Obviously, I need new glasses as well. And it was some years ago before the pandemic, and we'd recently set up the cafe. And I got in quite early. And I knew Christina, my dear partner in crime, would be there quite soon. But all the electrics went off. Oh my gosh, talk about panic. I am the most impractical person you have ever met. Oh dear. So all I could do was switch things on and switch things off. And so I switched, that's what I did. But I digress a little bit here because I love hardware stores. So me being impractical and loving hardware stores does not match at all. And when I'm in East London, there's a little shop called the In and Out shop, and I have to go in there, and it's tacky and messy and lovely. And what a blessing. Rob bought a book about a hardware shop, and he has lent it to me to read, and I'm in my element. I'm counting my blessings. It's called Rivets, Trivets and Galvanized Buckets. So, oh, bliss, and it's cheered me up no end in my recovery from my operation. But I'd say I digress. So I go back to when the electrics went off. And as luck would have it, our lovely Myron wandered in at that time, and he did something quite simple, and everything came back on. And he's also mended our microphone here. So that was good, but I did think, oh my goodness, what if the urn or the kettles weren't working? I'm thinking of Chris, I'm thinking, oh gosh, no cafe. And it was, just quite soon after we'd started it up, so it was a bit worrying. But that day, I counted my blessings. I have had some very bad experiences in my life, but now I'm grateful that I experienced these as I became more empathetic to other people. Well, I hope I've become more empathetic to other people going through difficult situations. Memories can be beautiful blessings. When I was about 9, my mum, dad and myself, we used to wander around the city of London. Nothing was opened at all then. And my sister, who's 10 years older, she was off, I think, with a boyfriend or something. So she didn't come with us. But there was a fruit stall down one of the streets near Liverpool Street. We were very poor when we were young. But my dad, unbeknown to me, had saved up some money, and he bought me what seemed to be a huge peach. I'd never even seen a peach in my life. And I can even taste it 70 years later when I bit into it and the juice dripped all down my chin. So that memory I can revisit whenever I want. So memories are blessings. A lot of memories are. Some are not so good, but a lot of memories are blessings. If we think about it, our life is full of little blessings, but we hardly recognise this as we lead such busy lives. Even when we're retired, we say we're going to read every book that we want to, and we don't, and we do this and we do that. A lot of you love to listen to birdsong. Aren't you lucky that you can hear when many people live in a silent world? My friend is completely deaf and she can feel quite isolated sometimes. Do you count your blessings when you see a rainbow or a beautiful sunset? Probably you just take them for granted, but others may never be able to see them. We have enough to eat and drink, but many others, even in this city, don't. I can remember being in Cyprus one year, and we had to have water shipped from Greece. There was a drought. We were lucky as we could still buy bottled water or drinks such as Coke, but it was very scary. Think of all the countries that suffer regularly through droughts. Most of us are very lucky, actually, and most of us have friends or family or someone who cares about us. But a lot of people have never experienced love or care. The great Puritan Matthew Henry was once robbed of his wallet. After pondering the incident, he wrote the following words in his diary. I thank thee first because I was never robbed before. Second, because although they took my purse, they did not take my life. Third, because they took my all, it wasn't very much. And fourth, it was I who was robbed, not I who did the robbing. He obviously didn't like being robbed, but he realized he was alive, so he counted his blessings. And every day I wake up thankful I'm still breathing. Every life is a picture with shadows and light. The glass can be half empty and half full, as one does not negate the other, as you can see from what Matthew Henry said. I read a book back along. I like back along. I've started using back along since I came down here. So I read a book back along called If Cats Disappeared from the World. And you know, I love cats. And it's about a young man who's terminally ill. The devil tempts him by saying he could live one more day if he made something disappear from the world. He lets go of phones, the movies, then he has his cat. Can he let cats disappear to give him another day? When thinking about giving up the movies, he thinks about the film Limelight. In the film, The Little Tramp, some of you are probably too young to know who Charlie Chaplin was, but Charlie Chaplin played the Little Tramp, and he tries to stop a ballet dancer whose hopes have been dashed from committing suicide. He tells the dancer, and this is what he says, "Life is a beautiful thing, magnificent thing, even to a jellyfish." The young man then realizes he was right. Even jellyfish are here for a reason. They have meaning. And if that's the case, then movies and music, coffee and tea, and pretty much everything must have some kind of meaning too. Once you start down this path, then even all those unnecessary things turn out to be important for some reason or another. If you are trying to separate the countless meaningless things in the world from everything else, you'll eventually have to make a judgment about human beings and our very existence. He goes on to say, in his case, all the movies he's seen and the movies from them gave his life meaning and helped make him who he was. To live means to cry, to shout, to love, to do silly things, to feel sadness and joy, to even experience frightening things. Beautiful songs, beautiful scenery, us singing here in church. Be thankful for everything and count your blessings for all these which are part of us. Just love your life, the dark and the light, and be grateful for it. I keep a jar with scraps of paper on which over the year I write what I'm grateful for. So when I'm low, I pick one or two out to realise I have so much. Otis Moss, an American United Reform minister, says, even in the darkest night, when we see no light at all, the light is still there. The sun is still shining over Earth, even when our side of Earth rotates away from it. The stars still shine above us, no matter how thick the clouds are above our heads, and that we always need love to restore us. It says a lot more than this, but I think back to the happiness we had that day when everybody did the service and Christelle did the dancing. That was a blessing indeed. And he always tells his congregation to dance through the dark. I end with a few lines from Leanne Rimes' song, I Hope You Dance. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. May you never take one single breath for granted. When you get the choice about life, to sit it out or do you dance? I hope you dance. Thank you for listening. Great voice. So straight into the last hymn, number 193, We Laugh, We Cry.
Freedom, trust.
May we take with us some of the joy of this gathering. May we go forward in hope. May we live rightly in peace with one another. And may we know the blessing of God until we gather here again. Amen.